So here we will discuss about the properties of compound, right? So the properties of compound are entirely different from the properties of its constituent elements, right? So for example, the properties of hydrogen and oxygen are entirely different from the properties of water, which is formed by combining hydrogen and oxygen, right? So the oxygen gas supports burning, whereas hydrogen gas can burn, right? And the water, which is formed by their combination, neither burns nor supports burning, right? So in fact water is used to extinguish fire, right? So the next point is carbon is carbon in the form of coal is combustible, which means which is able to begin burning easily, right? It can be easily burnt, so it burns in the presence of oxygen, which supports burning, right? So carbon dioxide, which is formed by their combination, is used to extinguish fire, right? So now the next is a compound is formed when constituent elements combine in a fixed ratio by mass, right? So to form one molecule of water, as we know the chemical formula of water is H2O, right? So to form one molecule of water, the two elements of hydrogen and oxygen combine in the ratio of 1:8 by mass, right? So a compound is formed when two or more elements combine with each other chemically, right? So have you ever seen coal burning? Right. So coal contains an element which is carbon, which combines with oxygen which is present in the air to form the carbon dioxide gas. Right. So you can see this carbon, which is the coal, which coal contains the carbon, plus oxygen, which is taken from the air, which is present in the air. Right, burns and it forms the carbon dioxide gas, right? So we cannot get carbon dioxide gas by simply mixing carbon and oxygen. Okay, so the carbon and oxygen chemically combine to form the carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so which means energy is either absorbed, right? It is either absorbed or released when a compound is formed, right? So now we will understand that when we burn coal in the presence of air, a lot of heat is produced, right? Of course, so along with the formation of carbon dioxide, which is a compound gas, heat is also released, right? So coal plus oxygen, it is releasing the carbon dioxide gas, then it is also releasing the heat, right? So now we will discuss why is magnesium ribbon burnt in the presence of air, right? So magnesium and oxygen combine chemically to form the magnesium oxide, which is a compound, right? So you can see magnesium plus oxygen, which is present in the air, it burns and it forms the magnesium oxide, right? So now the next is when magnesium ribbon, okay, so magnesium ribbon is burnt in the presence of air, it forms the magnesium oxide along with the release of a lot of heat, right? So simply in this case also heat is also released, right? So we can see the full equation, that is magnesium, or we can see the magnesium ribbon plus oxygen which is present in the air, it is burning and it is forming the magnesium oxide plus heat. Okay, so now we will summarize the characteristic properties of a compound, right? So the constituent elements of a compound cannot be separated by physical methods but can be separated by the chemical methods that like electrolysis. Okay, so the next is the properties of a compound are entirely different from the properties of its constituent elements. Okay, so the next is a compound is formed when constituent elements combine in a definite ratio by mass, right? So the next is a compound is formed by chemical combination of two or more elements, right? So the last point, which is very important as well, right? So energy is either absorbed or evolved during, or we can say when a compound is formed. Okay, simply this is a very important point, that energy is either absorbed or evolved when a compound is formed, right? right? So I hope everything is clear. Thank you so much.